the record. I just hit the goddamn encoder, and we are live, mi amigos.
Welcome back. Happy New Year. Happy 2021. This is the one and only IT in the D show.
Wait. Is COVID gone now, or do we still have to wait till the 20th?
No, the 5th. The 5th tomorrow.
5th?
Either the 5th or inauguration day, or the 20th when it's official.
Well, yeah, because the tomorrow's the Georgia thing for control of the Senate, and then the 20th. Well, and then the 6th is the Electoral College.
Right, and then the 20th, like the official. So one of those days.
Yeah, okay.
Gone. But hey, this is Bob the Sales Guy. That's Dave the Geek. Randy, I do the Twitters, is doing the Twitters. You can find us online at itandthed.com. I'd like to make a quick shout that this episode is brought to you by our friends at Twisted Tea. If you need a little bit more pack for your punch, try them out at your local liquor store. With only the 24 ounce will do.
Actually, good luck finding it anywhere. Like, because, dude, even distributors can't get their hands on that shit now.
The memes have gotten to the point where they're looking at a beer truck with a Twisted Tea on the side, and they're like, holy shit, the SWAT team just rolled up into town. Like, it's getting that. The memes are ridiculous. I mean, you know,
dude, and I love that the guy that cracked the dude upside the head with the Twisted Tea can he's in one of the like bartenders and drinking groups that I'm in on Facebook, and he's selling autographed Twisted Tea cans for like $25 a piece, and I'm like,
nice,
dude, good for you. Get the money while you can, because nobody's gonna care in 2 weeks. But
you got about 12 seconds.
I was like, yeah, nobody's gonna care in 2 weeks, but you get that money and do your thing, and that sounds amazing.
The only one I liked was the Obi-Wan going a weapon for a more civilized time.
An elegant weapon, yeah. Or, dude, I liked there was the one where they took the saber out of Anakin's hand and put in a can of Twisted Tea in the younglings scene. That was
one that dropped the youngling that dropped the F-bomb.
Yeah.
Apparently the youngling had an AMA on Reddit, and apparently when Anakin walked in the room, he yelled "boo" as loud as he could to like startle the kids, so that
they would have that look.
The look on their face was actually natural because of that boo. So
interesting.
Not that I give a not that your life is any more enlightened because of that.
Wow, I feel a little snippet that I didn't know. Gimme.
And you're gonna go to the bar next week and go, did you know?
No, I'm not gonna be going to the bar next week. Let's be clear. Although speaking of, cheers, I grabbed a shot just to kick off.
I got nothing near me. Sorry, cheers. Happy New Year.
Toast with a Fresca.
How about a Fresca?
How about a Fresca?
Danny.
So yeah, no, obviously, no, we haven't figured out events for this year yet, even though we have turned the corner. So, as things change and loosen up a bit. I've got we have Fred is queued up, wants to come back on. I was talking to him about possibly next week, just because he's giving another presentation at Harvard on Sunday, and so should have a whole new slide deck and wants to talk about all these mutations and what that means for vaccines and all that kind of stuff, and how that's going to impact that, because there are quite possibly problems.
This doesn't surprise me. I want to dive in on people I hate this week, let alone for the year. I'm going to dive right in. 400 complaints came in the city of Detroit from residents.
Yep.
Complaining about people, whatever, running illegal operations or whatever it is that they were complaining about.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say which means they're out. Otherwise they wouldn't have known.
No, not necessarily. I mean, so you had a lot of...
No, most of the violations have been for eating inside the business.
Yeah.
So they're getting 400 complaints. Someone saw them or had to have seen them. And it's just, I don't understand if you see somebody like that if you're that hung up on it, make a check mark and never go to that place again.
Yeah.
Right?
But,
it's like,
okay. But, I understand your point, but I guess here's the counterpoint to that. It is shit like that going on that is keeping us from moving forward collectively. Like that, like we are literally at the point now where, dude, I'm done. Like, I am sick and tired of being the kid I'm sick and tired of being the kid that's keeping his shit together in class, but because the three jackasses in the back of the room won't shut up, I can't do recess again. So hold
on. There's a million people going through TSA daily. You can sit down at the Applebee's in the airport.
See, that infuriates.
Hold on. You can sit down at a restaurant in an Applebee's, right? and people are up in arms because there's 4 people eating at Mel's Diner. Come on. 1 million people are going through TSA daily.
Okay, and to me that's a bigger issue, and I honestly I loved the meme that had, okay, getting ready for the TSA check-in and everybody's 6 feet apart, and then okay, here you are 15 minutes later and everybody's crammed into the planes. Because I was talking to somebody about that, where I mean, back in the beginning of this, planes were like, well, number one, flights were all canceled, and then when they came back, they were staggering rows. They were, keeping people separated, and apparently all that shit's gone now. They're back to full flights. And
but I don't understand why no one. I don't see anyone complaining about what happened in the nursing homes, which was like 60% of the deaths. Yet everyone's got a gripe about Mel's Diner, and it doesn't.
And back at the beginning, yes, and that's absolutely true. And again, I mean, I guess that's my take on a lot of this stuff. Is okay, what happened in March happened in March, but can we focus on the problems now to get past where we are rather than reflecting on what went wrong 8 months ago?
But but here's the thing, like you don't, like they said restaurants are what, 4%?
That they know of, and so here's my theory about that. So when you call when you do contact tracing, that kind of stuff, number one, it's voluntary, which is part of the problem, because nobody, they just don't return phone calls, or they just say, no, I'm not going to tell you anything. I still truly believe that restaurants and bars have a PR problem more than they have an actual issue. Just because it is like, if somebody's going to say, like, if somebody's going to answer a contact tracing call, because let's be real, if you are the kind of person that is going to be out and about during this, you are probably the kind of person that will have been at a restaurant and bar. And you will be more likely, I think it's human nature, to say, hey, yep, I was at Whiskey in the Jar, or I was at Detroit Shipping Company, rather than I was in my buddy's basement with 20 other people, doing shots and hanging all over each other and giving each other hugs, a week and a half ago.
Because you're going to throw them under the bus for
exactly, and then your buddy's going to be like, dude, what the hell? Why are you sending people my way?
Well,
so I mean,
why don't people say they're at for you and your 400,000 friends at Menards this weekend?
Right. So I think that's honestly more. I've always said that I truly believe bars and restaurants have a PR issue, more than an actual issue. Just because I stopped in at Whiskey in the Jar the other night, and well,
super spreader.
No, I stopped. Okay, so let's be clear. Big signs on the door. You got to wear a mask when you walk in, and they're really anal retentive about that. You walk in, you order your drink, you get your drink, you walk outside. Period. End of story. And even underneath the tent with the heaters and that kind of stuff, everybody's all spaced out. And so, like, but again, that's the first time I've done that in 3-4 weeks now, and that's probably the last time I'll do it for a couple weeks now. It's managed risk, I guess, more than anything else. And I was at the point where, I mean, candidly, some drama blew up, and I'm kind of over the whole Zoom drinking thing, and I didn't want to deal with that, and I just craved. I needed to be around people and have real conversations and really be around folks.
If you go to Toledo, this is just a rumor that the Rona stops at the border. And
but I don't want to go to Toledo.
Yeah, who wants to go to Ohio on purpose?
I mean, don't get me wrong, great town, but I'm not driving an hour to go get hammered. I mean, I got a hotel room. That's a plan. Like, that's
so now what really sucks? The sign on the mirror at Whiskey in the Jar now reads, you have to be born on this date or before in the year 2000 to have a drink here.
Kids that are not even aware of what the Y2K crisis was. Yeah. And towards the end of the year, you'll have some kids that were conceived during the Y2K crisis.
If people answer they were born in the 80s with me, I get angry. Like, God damn it.
Oh, for sure. Oh, one of the. Oh, yeah, we know Randy.
I was born in 85. Fuck you.
83.
That's nice. It's okay.
Right.
That's okay.
Knee jerk.
Oh no, it is. It's absolutely the knee jerk reflex reaction. But no, same thing. Like, I've got a friend of mine. She does one of the shows here, and we were on a Zoom talking about stuff. and Highlander was on. Like, so for what it's worth, like, and I know I can't remember if I brought this up on the show or not, and I'm probably late to the game, but I have become obsessed with Pluto and Tubi, the free streaming apps. They're phenomenal. They are like the 80s Rewind channel on Pluto just always has great 80s movies on it. And Highlander popped on, and I was like, oh, Highlander, there can be only one. And she was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I was like, how do you not know Highlander? And she was like, well, when was it released? I looked it up, 82. She's like, yep, that was 4 years before I was born. Hate you. Hate every fiber.
She didn't watch the TV series in the 90s?
No, she didn't. No, never did.
Yeah, the Adams High School are the Highlanders, and Gretchen played a soccer game there. And of course, I'm like, there can be only one.
Yeah, of course.
And like, not one dad, no one even glanced to my way. Like, no, and they're like, what? And someone have like tickled mine. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you're not friends. I'm not friends with any of you anymore.
Right, just get out. Get out. I can't.
You're all dead to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to you. And you know who else is one of the stupidest people? I could not contain myself after I seen this. And once it all started with the McDonald's hot coffee bullshit. Like you had to put warning labels now on coffee saying it was hot.
Oh,
kidding.
I know exactly where you're going.
No kidding. So I'm watching an Allstate commercial, right? And I think it's like a really nice song.
This isn't where you're going. Okay.
Yeah, there's an Allstate commercial, and it's a Smokey Robinson or whatever song.
So was it a Chinooka commercial then? If it was Smokey
no, so they're driving they're driving a rover, a space rover on the moon.
Okay.
Right, and they get to a point in the thing where they launch over the side of a cliff and they land, and there's in huge writing on the bottom it says "Do not attempt." And then I'm just going, yeah, I'm not, drive on the moon and jump over a cliff. Yeah, I think we're good. We're covered on that one, Allstate.
I mean, but yeah, if people can sue Red Bull because it doesn't actually give you wings, I guess that's a thing you have to put out there.
Elon Musk might, but it,
yeah,
could be like the Pepsi points with the Harrier jet.
True.
Oh, by the way, I know we dissertated Wonder Woman to all hell and back.
Oh my God. I watched
the
it
videos. There's videos now on YouTube breaking it down scene by scene, and how then when you watch that and then realize how bad it was, it becomes on such a different level of worstness.
I mean, it's
worsterness.
I never said it was a great film. I just enjoyed it.
That's fine.
It was a good flick.
People like mushrooms and NASCAR and country music too. So,
and I am offended that you keep lumping all of those things together.
It's close. It's close. It's close. Can we talk about the $6.9 million grant? Because there's one phrase in it that I've never heard before.
I have never heard this phrase before either, which I didn't even realize was a thing.
But I want to talk about this for a minute. So Rand Paul brought to light. He's usually good for calling out government for being stupid and being government. Apparently, there's a $6.9 million provision for a smarts toilet in the COVID relief bill. $6.9 million. Oh no, it was waste. I'm sorry, it wasn't part of the COVID relief. It was just waste, part of a bill.
It was part of the annual budget bill, the omnibus bill that went through at the same time.
Right. So Stanford researchers used 7 million of it to build a toilet that contains 3 cameras, including one that can identify the user's anal print. You need me to repeat that, or did you hear it the first time?
I'm genuinely confused by the phrase anal print. Like I didn't.
So is the butthole like a fingerprint where it's uniquely identifiable?
They're all unique.
Apparently.
I'll be honest, I haven't spent enough time. I mean, maybe ask a proctologist.
It's like a pretty little snowflake, except it's on your backside and it's
an
brown.
Asterisk. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
I want some of these. I want to build a toilet. Like I always wanted to do the poop flush, pee flush toilet, right?
Which somebody already did.
And I know, but I don't want one with a camera shooting up my hee hee hole.
Well, I mean, you've
hee
got,
hee or hoo hoo.
I mean, you did love the Japanese toilets when you were there. Let's be absolutely clear.
Oh yeah,
you were a fan.
Seat warmers, Fire hose? Yeah, what's not to love?
No. Like, all right. So, and like you're talking about the dumbest people on the planet. Can we talk about Belle Delphine for a minute?
Who?
That I don't know, the Ahigo face girl. So that she was.
What?
Remember the girl that sold bathwater, the Instagram chick, and we talked about that like about a year ago.
5 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, she did that. Yeah. So apparently, she has an OnlyFans, where she makes $1 million a month. So there's that. She apparently finally caved, and did a sex tape, with her boyfriend, to keep making money on OnlyFans, and then not to be outdone by that, she's looking to auction off the condom that was used during the making of the sex tape.
So the guy goes to throw away in the bedside garbage bag, and she's like, "No,
keep that.
eat it."
Put it in a little Ziploc baggie to keep it fresh. Who is the target audience for it? Somebody who wants the outside, or somebody who wants the inside, or somebody who wants both?
Wow, way to make it worse, Randy. I was really happy not thinking about that. And then the other folks, this is where I thought you were going. I thought you were going to the fact that Hawaiian Rolls is now being sued because they are not made in Hawaii anymore.
Wait a minute. Does that mean Hawaiian Punch isn't made in Hawaii either?
Who knew? But apparently, like,
wait. Are you telling me Mars bars aren't made on Mars?
Are not made on Mars. Yeah, moon pies are not from the moon. Yeah,
moon pies aren't from the moon.
Mm-mm. Nope. All eyes.
When I first saw the Hawaiian Rolls link come through, I didn't read it, and I thought it was just about people were just discovering that you should bake them before you serve them.
Which I will still fight over. I don't think that's a necessary thing. But I mean, if you want
fill them with fixins, and then you put butter and
they're the ultimate slider roll.
Yeah,
like they're amazing. But yeah, no, apparently
roll.
Apparently, folks out of New York have decided that they're going to sue the owner because they feel tricked. And I love this fact. They never would have bought them if they thought they weren't actually from Hawaii. Now, lies. Like there's no way in hell that I base my purchases based on state of origin. Like what the hell?
Yeah, they're buying organic fish that are products of China.
Right. Yeah, you're buying orange roughy, which is really a monkfish. Like it's the nastiest garbage fish on the planet, but
it's not really orange.
Yeah, it's neither orange nor rough. Discuss.
Ew. Wait, grape nuts has no grapes in it? Or no nuts either.
No flavor either.
No.
Yeah, it's just pure roughage.
One of my favorite uncle story. My Uncle Frank always used to tell the story where he liked them dry out of the box, and then he washed it down with a cup of milk, and then he sat here while his belly expanded to the point where he thought he was gonna have to go to the hospital.
Dude, that's really a thing. Like, I'm not surprised that happened to him. Anyway. I'm sorry. Are we not talking Cobra Kai? Like what?
Oh, I forgot.
Like I'm like, how are we 20 minutes into the show and we haven't started talking Cobra Kai yet?
Twisted Tea dominated my thought.
Right. So I guess spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it yet, we'll gesticulate wildly at the screen when we're ready, when we get off this topic, or if you're just listening, jump ahead 5 minutes. Dude, so season 3 dropped, and yes, that just holy shit, yes.
So I thought the whole going to Tokyo thing was gonna suck, and it was gonna be like Karate Kid, Hilary Swank, or well, no, because they had a lot of the media previews or the media preview reviews that I saw said, it said, because so season 2 basically did go very Karate Kid 3 with it. And so it was nice to see that for season 3, they were going back to Karate Kid 2, which was a much, better of the movie. So now the biggest hint right now is that they're going to bring back Silver for the next season, which whatever. You know what? I'm happy with the arc of this season. I was a little surprised that Allie was only in the one episode, but I think they packed that episode with enough that it was a phenomenal
I don't. I guess you would still call it a cameo since it was only one episode.
She looked whatever she did, she's doing it right because like she started to look hit on the boys a little bit, like kind of like Kathleen Turner, like just a little
Right.
little chubby, speaking from experience, and she looked freaking outstanding. She looked
she looked great.
Yeah.
And I did. I thought all of the, I love that conversation brought the Daniel LaRusso was the actual bully conversation and debate into
All day.
Kid canon.
Well, I also there was a thing where they said they could have it would be introduced her as the surgeon for Miguel,
which is everybody kind of assumed that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Just because of what she was doing, what all the clues and that kind of stuff, and of course that turned out to be spectacularly wrong. But I'm sorry, I was more impressed with the Chosen return from Karate Kid 2. I thought that was hilarious. I thought it was outstanding. I thought the basically the expansion of knowledge when it comes to Miyagi and Miyagi-Do karate and that kind of stuff was great. I thought they played the introduction of him perfectly well, especially with as light and funny as it was going to get later, but just the whole "no, I will get drinks." It was very very curt, very serious.
Like I said, I thought the Tokyo angle was gonna suck, and they did a good job with it. It was a little episode 7 member berries with like, oh, there's the Millennium Falcon, oh yeah, here's the chick, like that was, and he's there for 2 minutes, Tokyo's or that area's got how many million of people, and
yeah. But he wasn't in Tokyo. That was
he was in the small town.
Yeah, he went to Okinawa, went to the small town. And the fact that the girl that he saved off of the tree, winds up basically being the key to saving the dealership was, I thought, amazing. They did a great.
It was well written. Those things were always well written.
Oh yeah, the writing was together. Yeah, the writing was great.
Together.
I didn't think there were any slow or dumb episodes. I did have the light bulb moment of realization where I just finally realized that the bad girl, Tori, is or was the daughter on the show Jessie on the Disney network that my kids used to watch all the time. I had no idea that was her.
Yeah, my kids watched it, but I had no idea that was her. I don't want to say I'm getting tired of the kids, but I'm getting tired of the kids that like, how I always talk about in professional wrestling, there needs to be some sort of plausible, like it needs to have some sort of resemblance to real life.
Yeah.
Like it can't be too cartoony.
Yeah.
And like just some of the hot kid is like like just some of the kids, and I'm like, come on, you're not throwing spinning back kicks. You're not they're just not.
I'm sorry, those kids are a lot more believable than LaRusso doing it. let's
fair.
That scene in the chop shop could not have had any more. Like, oh my God, they totally filmed that at exactly the right angle to make it look good. Oh my God, they totally, yeah. I wonder how many takes it took them to get that shot.
Well, at least it was him, Martin Cove. They just brought in a 30-year-old dude,
yeah,
with the wig on. But that was, going to that was kind of awesome. Like his origin, like I didn't expect that, but bringing in Kreese's origin story.
Which I thought was interesting, and I get it. Like I get that the point is it's supposed to make you understand why he is the way he is now. But dude, that was 50 years ago. Like quite literally. Like that was 50 years ago.
55, yeah.
And you can't still be that big of a douche over things that happened 55 years ago. I understand the life lessons of it. I understand the I loved who his commanding officer was. I thought that was great. But I just and the stories and the love story and the it was I thought the backstory was good. I just thought it wasn't the redemption or solid explanatory arc that I thought they were probably hoping it to be.
No, but it was still fine. I wasn't complaining about it. I wasn't looking.
No, dude, it was still enjoyable.
At the end of the day, it's Karate Kid. That's the thing.
Well, yeah.
You can't. It's almost like Saved by the Bell. Like the bar is not the bar's low because it's a very important part of a lot of people's lives during that era that grew up, and it's a classic, one of the most iconic movies of my, childhood and adulthood. But like everyone knows going into this that it's going to be a little bit campy, and it doesn't need to follow like the third novel and the 17th act, like what the scrutiny Star Wars goes through. Right. It's not under that microscope.
Well, and the other part of it is they do have a lot more flexibility and freedom with it being a series, as opposed to being movies. I mean, they've talked about that with The Mandalorian, where, if you think about it, I mean, The Mandalorian has basically put out multiple feature-length films over the course of these 2 seasons so far, and it's the same thing. I mean, the Karate Kids, they're both 8-10 episodes, and yeah, I mean, those are essentially 2 feature-length, if not 3 feature-length films every season. But the way they get to chop it up and the way they get to tell the story, yeah, like I said, I thought they did a phenomenal job. I'm a little annoyed with the cliffhanger ending. I loved yeah, I know, but I mean, and I you know what? And I was thinking about this as I was watching it. Damn it, nobody has done a better job of, okay, well, shit, now I have to watch the next episode, like Cobra Kai has done. Like every single, like the ending of every single episode is like, oh, well, shit, I was thinking about doing this, nope, guess I'm watching the next episode.
Not since Lost. Because my wife was complaining. She's like, oh, God damn it, now we got to watch another one. And we sat and burned through the whole thing. But it was, it was a nice thing to watch on New Year's Day. There was only one decent football game, so like that was.
I parked my ass on the couch and down in the basement and watched it all the way through until I was done.
It was great, but we're paying for it. Netflix just announced today via email that it's going up to $17.99 a month.
So is that for the unlimited devices, all that kind of crap package?
Unlimited DVDs, 2 DVDs per month. No,
but I mean, like they do have different tiers for like number of screens you want to be able to have access to it simultaneously, that kind of stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that because pretty much every screen in my house has it. I just remember I was trying to go back, and I remember, and quote me if I'm wrong, it was $7.99 just for streaming. If you wanted 2 Blu-rays per time, it was $9.99 a month.
I want to say you're right.
And then it went to $12.99 a month, and then whatever I'm paying now, and then $17.99 a month.
Well, yeah, because they got rid of the whole DVD thing, and they added the tiering in just because, I mean, it is, are you streaming it on one, and it really is like simultaneous use. So I mean, if you want, if you're the only person watching it, you only need the one screen, the only one screen thing, because you're either watching it in your bedroom or you're watching it in your living room or you're watching on your phone. Whereas like, you and I with kids, okay, yeah, my daughter's got it. My daughter's got it running. Did you see the link? Speaking of Netflix, randomly, did you see the link that Tom Lawrence posted? The time spent on Netflix, or the time I spent on Netflix.com.
Yeah.
I was pretty intrigued by my results on that.
I didn't want to look.
I did. I mean, it was, and then my daughter thought it was fascinating because I showed her hers too.
I probably could have learned Portuguese in the time I spent.
I do. I love that it tells you like how many books you could have read in the time you spent watching stuff, or how many, you could have done this, you could have, it was that, but fun, cute stuff.
Yeah. Can I talk about spoiled? Like, this shit pisses me off, how spoiled kids are. And I was probably like that when I was a child. I get marched downstairs at like 9 a.m. going, Dad, you need to get better internet. Because I was playing Apex last night and the game dropped like 12 times. And I go, nothing drops for me ever. Like, I don't know what you're doing. And like Mr. little 16-year-old boyfriend said, well, yeah, your internet's kind of bad, and I'm like, oh, is it now? Let's talk. And I opened up my Eero and I go, I have a mesh network running in my house. I have 350 down, 50 up.
Yeah.
Right. Like, are you shitting me?
Yeah.
And they're like,
what are you expecting it to be, dipshit?
He goes, well, I get a gig down and a gig up in my house. And I go, great. You're spending $300 a month with Comcast Business.
Mm-hmm.
I go, I'm not. And I'm like,
you know what you should do then, son? Go back to your house.
No, you know what? I dropped the ultimate. Yeah, no, I dropped the ultimate. I said, When I was your age, I had a 4800 baud modem, and I played shitty games, and I was thankful.
When I was your age,
look what I've become.
I had to wait 9 minutes for one of Pam Anderson's boobs to load.
I had to plug in a goddamn cassette, push play. 20 minutes later, Ghostbusters was on the Commodore.
Right. Let me explain Leisure Suit Larry to you.
I was thankful.
What I had to deal with. Right.
The
Wait
fact
35 minutes for an MP3 to download and then have it time out in the last few seconds.
Dude, just think about 15 years ago. If I was to tell you were going to get 350 down at your house, you'd be like, you are full of shit.
You're out of your effing mind. Yeah.
What's a megabit?
Like that's, no, that's what? 2.5 OC3s?
Yeah.
Almost not quite a half, but yeah. Like you would have thought I was smoking on the crack rock, like for real.
Yeah, there's no way. Because I remember, back in those days, I mean, God, what was it? I mean, it was $1,000 a month to have a T1 line drop to your house.
Yeah, I was selling them for $6.99 a month plus loop.
Yep,
which is about $1,000. Yeah, I'm $25,000 for a fully full DS3 45 meg. See, I was thankful.
That's right, and I was grateful for every bit. So did you pop around through any of the New Year's Eve celebrations by chance?
Yes.
How'd those look?
A bisschen scheiße, as my German relatives would say. So I'm watching the New York one, and all I could notice was the 4x4, like what bike fence, the
bike rack, yeah.
It's like the guardrails you see at concerts and at wrestling, and you'd have basically building a box, and then there was 3 people or 4 people in each box, and they were all about like 20 feet apart, up and down Times Square. And then of course my wife's like, how much do you think those assholes had to pay? And they got the stupid Planet Fitness hats on. They couldn't even look cool. And I go, how much do you think they paid to get in there?
And why would you even bother? Like, what?
At that point,
what's the point?
Yet in Wuhan, it looked like Justin Bieber was giving away free Twisted Tea shots in Vegas, and they're middle fingering the West,
but they've actually locked down and got shit under control, just to be clear. So that's the difference.
They're also they're also communist, Dave. They can.
Oh, well, yeah, there's that. Well, and where was it? Was it L.A.? That 900 people got arrested?
900, yeah, because I was, you get angry about the 400 people calling and complaining and a couple dozen tickets. Then you see that 900 people, where the hell is it? I can't find it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a different, like, apparently,
there it is.
Apparently Los Angeles has launched a super spreader task force. That their entire job is to find out where these parties are and go in and bust them and arrest everybody.
900 people. See, now then I saw a video. This is of Canada, where there was 6 people. It was like 2 brothers, either a wife or a sister, and like an old mom and like a little brother.
Okay.
And they came in and drugged the guys out because someone said there was 6 people at their house. They brought in 6 cops, SWAT, and basically pulled the guys out, and the old lady screaming.
Canada has SWAT?
Yeah, they have a military too. There's 3 of them.
Really?
But the one in New York, yeah, there was some that was huge parties. I'm looking at one now.
SWAT stand for in Canada? Squirrel Warrior Assault Team, or
yes, Tim Hortons syrup and waffles.
Syrup, waffles, and I don't know what the T would be.
Moose. Tits? What? I don't know.
I don't know.
But LA, like 900 people got detained. Like, this is what's happening? We're doing knock raids on people having parties.
Dude,
welcome.
Knock it off.
Welcome to America.
No, dude, knock it off. It's that simple. I mean, I like, that's the sad and unfortunate reality is we are where we are. You joking about communism and socialism and all that stuff, but there are times when you should put the collective greater good above yourself. It's that simple. And this is one of those times, dude, especially with this new variant floating around, where apparently there are 3 new variants floating around. One's here in the US. that they think is related. It's the same strain as the one that was in England. And then you've got the one in France and the one in South Africa, that are, 70% more virulent. They're it's nuts, dude.
No, Dave, I think it's going back to the whole be consistent thing. You can't shut down this, but not shut down that. So then people are going to be like, well, kiss my ass. They either had to shut it all down or nothing. And they
dude,
shut it all down.
and that's, dude, I've said that since day one is it's just, be consistent with it and you won't have the issues that you're having. Cause again, I can't sit inside and have a drink at Whiskey in the Jar, but I can sit at an airport, restaurant with however many friggin' strangers, and that's fine.
Right. So then you buy a $200 ticket to Chicago, and then it's basically $200 cover to go sit at a bar, which is basically what it's getting down to. Another cities or whatever's going down. Chicago now issued their last licenses for horse-drawn carriages in the city. Which, if you ever been to downtown Chicago with the horse and buggies, it's kind of part of the city.
They do them on Capitol Hill in DC. They do them. I mean, that's a Central Park thing in New York. I mean, those are like, that's still a cool thing to do every now and then.
But like, if you ever like Frankenmuth, sometimes they catch shit for it because they got the horses, and they go, "Do you know how these horses are treated? Like, if it's too like I think those
horses are treated better than your kids."
Oh, isn't there like a Astoria style like hotel where they're pampered, like they will not live that kind of life if you just stick them out in the middle of Lake Huron, not in the lake, but the area.
No, I know what you mean.
Seems like they only had 10 carriage licenses in the city anyway. So
there was 60. There was 60. But there's a bunch of other ones: Salt Lake City, Biloxi, Key West, Palm Beach, Treasure Island, Pompano, Montreal. It stopped. So I don't know. I guess animal rights activists, you win this round. So I guess we'll enjoy your glue, which is what the horses are.
Well, and then speaking of animal activism, apparently squirrels in New York are done with people not being outside and giving them food, and so now they've just taken to attacking people. Which I think, and not like jokingly attacking people, like drawing blood and clawing and biting at people.
Was that like the monkeys in Singapore that were like swarming the streets?
Yeah,
that was like March or April. So because I saw about attack squirrels, I just thought it was bullshit and I didn't watch it.
Yeah, no, it's legit.
Because they're not getting the French fries and when the people
they're not getting popcorn, they're not getting fed, and so now they are hungry and angry and moving into the neighborhoods.
Jeez. And you know what else is kind of garbage? And this is the stuff where I hate. You got a lot of, so back in the 20s when there was the prohibition, a lot of breweries made other things. Pabst made dairy products, cheese. I still have
Stroh's shifted from beer to ice cream.
Yeah. Stroh's did the ice cream thing. And a lot of the distilleries were making hand sanitizers.
Yep.
Hand sanitizer because they had the alcohol, they had the means to, and there was a shortage. So fill a need, right? It's capitalism 101. Yep. Apparently the FDA doesn't like it, and they're charging $14,000 fees.
They backed off that.
The whole thing,
yes,
for everyone.
Yep. So they actually backed down off that. I think most likely because of the immediate outrage that got triggered.
Isn't there somebody at the FDA that would have been like, dude, like, you know what I mean? Like usually these things,
we should not do this. Like this is not going to play out well for us.
Do you imagine, the shitstorm that's going to happen if we do this? Yeah. Okay. So, they did the reason.com article. They did put an update on top. Go figure, on top.
Yeah.
Not on the bottom of it.
Yeah. They did. They actually backed off that, which is good. It's just, I guess from an actual tech perspective, did you read the story about the kidnapping?
No.
So in Milwaukee, a girl gets she had met somebody and she showed up, and there were two guys there that basically pulled a gun or pulled a box cutter and duct tape, bound her up, threw her in the back seat, repeatedly assaulted her, and eventually dropped her off somewhere. And so she remembered
this one. Yeah. Totally
so she remembered that they drove by the airport. She remembered that they drove by a specific store. and then she had her drop off location, but like didn't have really good descriptions of the guys that were involved. And so the police detective actually reached out to Google. Well, first off, reached out to a judge and got what they call a geofenced warrant that said, okay, we need to find out, a car, we need to find a cell phone, because she also remembered that he was using Google Maps or Google Nav. And so got a judge to agree to a geofenced warrant and wanted to find, a car that matched those 3 locations within the time range. And there was only one car one phone that pinged off of the towers for those 3 locations. And the guy was convicted. And they said, and again, you get now everybody's like barking about privacy concerns and, well, how many other random people, because there was a case where a guy was falsely accused based on a similar geofence warrant because he happened to be walking by a house when a burglary was going on. But I can't say that I'm really against the use of data like this
with a warrant. No, yeah, all day. I think that's the issue is they actually pulled a warrant and did it legally. If you started doing this warrantless and then it starts becoming, I see 3 pings coming or 6 pings coming from my house, we're going to break the door down and arrest everybody for having a illegal party. Right. That's bullshit. But if you pull a warrant all day, this is awesome. This is a great story.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I mean, and Google said, and the rep from Google said, yeah, this is the kind of stuff, this kind of case, is we're perfectly okay with it, just because, I mean, because they pushed because of exigent circumstances that they were afraid that this was the kind of, because of a similar situation that had happened the day before, they were afraid that these people were going to attack again, and it turns out they were, and it was the same people that were involved in the attack the previous day. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really good use of, technology to basically bring perps to justice.
And here's the thing, it's the year 2021. We do CGI Luke Skywalker, and can we find someone to do better sketch art than the people that do these criminal sketch artists? It looks like something a 3-year-old would do.
Yeah. I still love the one. God, wasn't it a Chicago news anchor that was talking about a burglary suspect?
Looked just like him,
and the sketch they threw up behind him looked exactly like him.
Yeah.
But no, I did. I thought it was an absolutely great use of technology, and I'm happy with it. The horrible use of technology. Apparently, if you hear "Sugar Sugar" by the Archies, run. Because that means the AI robots are coming from Boston Dynamic. I'm sure they thought it was adorable that they were doing a little dance routine. It creeped me the hell out.
No. Again,
no.
Sentry guns, cameras, 6 Google pings, super spreader event. Yeah, no, illegal activities. No, I want no part of it.
Not a fan.
You know what? Banished words. I wonder how many of these are actually going to take. So someone made a list of banished
words that need to be banished after this year.
Yeah. I didn't even know sus. That's a thing. I had to look it up.
Oh, dude, I have said, you must not have been listening, because I have said if I hear my kid, who's like really, he's gotten super into the whole online gaming thing. If I hear the words sus, fam, or bro come out of his mouth one more time, I'm taking his game away. And he realized it, and he finally realized I was serious, and he stopped.
But like Karen's I think Karen's just in its infancy. I don't think that's going to go away for a while.
No, it's really not. And I didn't like their characterization of the use of how it's been twisted now. Like, no, I'm sorry. I feel like Karen is still being 99 times out of 100 is still being absolutely appropriately used.
Like, I know, right? I don't think that's ever going to go away anytime soon.
And that was the thing. I'm like, they said it was like something that's been recently on the rise, and I'm like, that's been around for like 20 years. Like, I remember that back in the CompuServe days, for the love of Christ.
Yeah. And if we could stop saying COVID-19 and Rona, I'll be perfectly fine with that.
Right. Yeah, I would. Yeah. Or the new normal, or, or pivot. Yeah.
Social distancing can go to hell.
Yeah.
Super spreader events can go to hell.
Yeah.
Anything to do with that. We're all in this together.
Yeah. But
You know,
I
I
don't like what is it, in these uncertain times?
Yeah,
or
yeah. In
these
these trying
unprecedented
times.
or what? I was at Meyer last night and they were playing a pre-recorded announcement about during these unprecedented times we're striving to keep our stores clean and healthy or whatever. I was like, geez, oh Pete.
Well, then there's pivot number 6, and I'm like, we've been
we've been
bitching
trying
about
to kill that word for.
We've been bitching about that for 15 years, and I honest to God, I'm probably thankful. I didn't know what sus was.
It's I mean
What's
it rose
I
in
understand.
popularity because of Among Us.
No, I understand the word is like shoulder surgery, like it's suspicious, like it's just not an easy word to say.
Shoulder surgery.
I thought it was
Especially if you
suspect.
got-
System.
Yeah,
Is that
especially if you're
suspicious?
standing sister and you say suspicious. But what? Yeah, make it go away. Yeah, those I wouldn't mind the rest of them. Like social distancing, that can like seriously. If I never hear that again, or if it needs to not become a thing.
Yeah. But so two other HBO stories. One apparently HBO Max, especially on Roku devices, and I didn't notice this because this is how I watched it, is having just horrible buffering and skipping issues for a lot of people.
Which one? HBO Max?
Yeah.
I haven't had problems on Apple TV.
No, the app.
I haven't
sucks.
had it. I haven't had it on the Roku.
No, my app glitches. It's awful. It doesn't remember who I am, even though I'm on Comcast. I have to re-sign in on my phone app, then go in through my phone, and then go to the TV, throw it on the TV, and then it gets it. The next time it reloads it, it wipes it. It's a piece of shit.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't hit that yet. That's interesting. Because
So imagine
as well.
Go back your entire life and Men's Health magazine or any women's magazine in January. What is the first thing on the cover?
What's the top story every time?
Right. Burn off
Drop
Christmas
those
calories.
holiday pounds. Yep.
Right. And then apparently a women's magazine had to apologize.
Yeah, women's fitness. Yeah.
For writing the same article they've been writing since the 1950s.
Yep.
Because apparently it's promoting the damaging notion that movement should be punishment for eating. You know,
dude, all I know
exercise is often portrayed as a way to burn off food. It's not seen as an enjoyable part of life. Long-term health outcomes aren't often achieved.
All I know is shout out to everybody who said they were going to eat better, drink less, and be healthier in the new year, and of course waited until today.
Monday. It's always Monday. It's never.
And then the other one was, I guess, when Game of Thrones wrapped, HBO lost, what was it, 51% of their 18 to 49 demographic.
Because the ending sucked, or just because it was over?
See, I originally thought
I would say
it was
a bit of both.
I was gonna say I originally thought it was gonna be because the ending sucked, but if you read the article, it was mostly just because that's what everybody was hanging on to HBO for, was that series. And then once it was over, they didn't care anymore. And so
you think I'd have Disney Plus if it wasn't for GD Star Wars?
Oh, dude, yeah, well, yeah, and all the Marvel stuff, hell yeah. I can't even tell you what the other tabs are. Like, I think there's one for National Geographic stuff, maybe. Which,
if you want to watch a leopard eat some gazelle's face, sure.
Yeah, no, not watching that. No, I'm here for the Star Wars and the Marvel. Although I did finally cave, and I installed the Peacock app. Because
which one?
Peacock.
How did it go?
Peacock. Because I was told
that Peacock app.
Peacock app, yes. Because I was told that Battlestar Galactica is on it, and of course I was like, I'm not paying for anything else. But then I loaded it up, and sure enough, just log in with your Comcast credentials, and you're fine. Damn it. Okay, so now I'm rewatching Battlestar Galactica because. Even though I have the DVDs,
the original,
I'm watching it through the app. No, it's the more recent series.
Oh, but one of the dumbest articles I read this week. This is the first one that I sent out this week. That the Wonder Woman 3 is getting fast tracked after the success of Wonder Woman 84. This is exciting news. It said. So apparently 3 is getting fast tracked.
Gross.
Which I get, and I'm curious how they're going to make that work. Because
I heard Chris Pine is going to be back in it too.
Which again, how?
In someone else's body.
Yeah, exactly. Let's make that creepy shit happen again. but so the director of Wonder Woman has been tapped to be the director of Rogue Squadron, which is going to be the first Star Wars movie that's coming out, past all this nonsense. I think it's 2023, if I recall correctly.
She's got a cool story though. It's like her father was a pilot or whatever, and she wants to make the greatest fighting movie. Or
Dude,
whatever.
No argument, but then
I was bought in.
But how are you going to split time if you're trying to get those? I mean, those are both going to be blockbusters. Can you be the director on both of those projects simultaneously? I mean, I guess it's only January of 2021. You've got years to make this happen.
I don't know. Can you be Captain Kirk and Wonder Woman's boyfriend?
Yes, clearly you can. They've proven that out, Bob.
Right. Apparently, the half of all HBO Max active watchers watched it on opening day.
I mean,
what else we watching? What else we doing? There's nothing to do.
Yeah, it was Christmas night. It's not like the family's over. It's not like, and it's not like you were going to wherever. No, once again, basement couch, fired up. Which, I mean, and again, and I've said this before. Can we get back to the era of 90-minute movies? Like, that's all I want. Like, I'm good with 1.5-hour movies. Like, you know what? Hey, you want to impress me? Make 2 movies that are 1.5 hours long that are back-to-back sequels, and I'm good. Like, we don't need not every movie has to be 2.5, 3.5 hours long.
They have to, though.
No, they don't have to. Well, and apparently,
that's become the criteria for us. Like, put a movie on, and we watch whatever, some trash thriller. But it's like, if it's 2 hours, nope. If it's like 1:36, click it. You know what I mean?
No, and like I said, I mean, that's my thing. I'll absolutely do it. But you were just talking about like the success of Wonder Woman 84. Apparently, it has not done well. Like, so they were I guess they were gambling on the distribution through HBO Max, which again, all these movies they're throwing on HBO Max are only for the first 30 days, and then they go back to theater exclusive. But they were really gambling on the Asian market, specifically China, and because apparently, like, that's a huge market for these superhero films, and apparently it tanked there
because they know
it did not do well.
Well, it had a $200 million budget.
Yeah.
Like, and they're rolling out, CG,
and they couldn't.
Apparently there's a scene in the mall.
And again, they couldn't license 80s songs. I'm just saying.
No, there's the fight scene with the guys that robbed the jewelry store in the mall.
Yeah.
And apparently the guy was on the floor flailing or like holding his arms like a cross, like he was being wrapped up, but they never added the CGI rope on him. So like the video.
Damn it, now you're going to make me go back and watch it just for that one effing
yes,
scene.
Totally.
God, I hate you.
Totally.
So I guess from a public service announcement perspective, I thought this was an interesting article. We just went through the whole open enrollment thing, yada yada, your insurance, and a lot of people are worried about what happens if they don't have insurance, because of the way things are structured. If you aren't aware of this, if you do get COVID, your bills are covered. Like you should not be worried about putting yourself into bankruptcy or anything like that, because
that's bananas.
And well, I mean, it's I think it's smart. I mean, it's one of those things.
No, bananas that they don't tell people.
That they weren't aware. Because that was the thing is, the story was from the point of view that people weren't told this by the hospitals they went to. They weren't told this, during all this. And so, let's make sure, that's why one of the reasons why I sent it across, I want to make sure we got it out there. I mean, that's, it's crazy to me, like how many people are still paying for, their own COVID tests if they have to, when, if you go to, there's a Michigan.gov, one of the websites is, or, the different counties have them now, to go find free testing centers and that kind of stuff. And if I've said it once, I've said it 100 times, and I'm going to keep saying it. The rapid tests are bullshit. Please do not get those and rely on them. They are just stupid. Like the fail rate on them is so ridiculously high. Like depending on who you listen to, it is either 30 or 40 or 50% fail rate for either a false positive or a false negative. Yeah, I mean, I'm annoyed they even still offer them. They're that useless. I mean, would you accept, like, if they said condoms were only 50% effective, would people wear them? No.
I'm trying to think of something funny to say. I have nothing.
Yeah, no. So anyway, I want to make sure we got that out there.
No, but there's a lot of things too. Like if you're pregnant and you're a woman and you don't have insurance, the state will cover it. There's slush funds for these types of things. But see, now on the contrary, though, like the person
can we not call them slush funds, because that just has a negative connotation to it.
I don't know what I mean. There's money set aside.
General well-being funds, Bob. Let's put it that way.
Whatever. Shell shock, battle fatigue.
Right.
But like the guy that I knew that he got it in the early, like I'm talking March, when people were dying en masse, and they said, if your lips turn blue, come to the hospital. Otherwise, I don't want to see you.
Yep.
So it's like, how much of that is going on?
Well, but I mean, some of that had to do with capacity issues. I mean, there were times there where they literally had no ICU beds, or no capacity to take people in, and so they only wanted you to show up if the situation was truly desperate.
Well, that's why they built Kobo and all the places they never used.
Well, and we're sadly we're almost getting back to that point again. And it's we talked about that back when that was all going on, because everybody's like, oh well, they built this thing out of Kobo and nobody used it. The problem is that you
better to build it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Well, but no, the reason,
Team Randy. No, I'd rather side on the air of caution with that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, but the reason why it was never used is because people had to give their consent to be transported there, and nobody was giving their consent to be transported there. The hospitals absolutely wanted to offload people into those facilities, and they wouldn't allow them to.
You're in Beaumont, Royal Oak, and you're going to say you want to go to Kobo and sit in a freaking gymnasium bed.
I mean, that's
in the middle of
the I get it.
Right. No bullshit. I want to be next to the where the doctors are and the stuff.
Right. No, I get it. It's crazy. And I do. And sadly, I think we're probably going to see another ugly little spike here. So we'll see what happens. Randy, you shot this across. I had no idea what the hell Bean Dad was. I was like,
oh my God.
What? I was like, what in the ever living hell? Like, Randy, what are you going to make me look at? Like, that's
so Bean Dad has been trending on Twitter, or Can Opener Dad or whatever. It's a guy who co-hosts a podcast with Ken Jennings, the Jeopardy champion dude. And he posted a story on Twitter about like not teaching his daughter how to use a can opener to open a can of beans, and it just blew up. And
well, and so apparently, for what it's worth, tonight was the first of the last 5 episodes, just speaking of Jeopardy, that Alex Trebek hosted. So apparently this week is going to be the last 5 episodes that he did.
But Twitter just shredded this guy for, child abuse because he didn't open the can of beans for his hungry daughter. And
dude, okay, so 2 things. One, so I'm downstairs and my kid's getting ready to go upstairs, and I'm like, hey, I left something by the can opener up there. Can you grab it for me? And he was like, what? I'm like, the thing on the counter that's next to the stove, like that you open. And he was like, oh, he's like, I thought that was a soup can opener. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, doesn't it only work on soup cans? And I'm like, no, that's not how that goes. And then my proud parenting moment. Are you even a parent if you have never convinced your 11-year-old kid that the world was actually in black and white until 1960?
It wasn't. It wasn't. See, now, Randy, I think all the people that are up in arms or get angry about that stuff don't have kids. I saw a thread on Reddit that I was beside myself how, like, the comments I was seeing when someone put a C word in a Christmas display on their front lawn, and there was like, yeah, that's awesome, because it said racism is for C words, and I'm like, I got a 10-year-old kid. No, it's not awesome. That to my kid.
Yeah,
we drive around looking at Christmas lights. No,
dude, shit. You remember the? I mean, all the crap that came in after the whole. I took my kids to the comic book store thing years ago. Kids don't notice those things. Kids, yes, you obviously do not have kids, because yes, they do.
Yeah. And then you have to answer those questions. Dad, what's the C word? Oh, it's you have to make up some shit.
It's an abbreviation for see you next Tuesday.
Isn't that what it is? It's not?
Right. That's just gonna run with it. Trying to think.
So apparently Quibi is dead, but its shows aren't. Looks like Roku might be buying some shows from Quibi.
So I guess I
don't know how they're gonna.
If you're Roku, why would you Like
Because of the 13 Quibi diehard fanatics like Randy that
fine.
I was not a diehard.
Yeah, no, then
I didn't pay for it.
Make whoever owns the library build a Roku channel and just put it on that way. Like how complicated is that?
Why wasn't it that anyway?
Right. Well, I mean, that's clearly why it's not around anymore, because that's all it needed to be.
But they had stuff like Reno 911 reboot and stuff like that on Quibi, so, or I guess a continuation. So I guess bringing it to a broader platform makes more sense than trying to launch your own platform.
Well, yeah. I mean, God, how many times did we talk about the Netflix? Well, shit, look at the Netflix effect with Cobra Kai. Like I still laugh and I still like cringe inside when the Cobra Kai basically made me a hipster, because, you know, when it hit Netflix last year, it was like, oh my God, there's this great new series. And I'm like, oh, I saw it 2 years ago when it was on YouTube. Welcome to the game.
I'd love to see their numbers, because if 63 million people watch those shit Adam Sandler movies.
Oh, dude, I cannot. Yeah, I hope they release those numbers, because they've got to be up there.
Well, then Sandler, I think, is running out of ideas, because you know how he signed those ridiculous $250 million deals.
Right.
Apparently, they're in the works to make Waterboy 2. And it's like, I don't need to see that.
Nobody needs to see that.
Well, it's like the Family Guy like sidebar sketch that was like Stephen King sitting in his publisher's office, and they're like, "Okay, well, what do you got for us?" And he was like, "Ooh, it's a lamp. Ooh, spooky." Like, you're not even trying anymore. Whatever. All right,
It's
yeah,
like
we'll take it. All right, give us the book.
But we're gonna do it again. But then the kids are older.
Right. You were gonna do it part 3. Who knows?
Did you get hit by the Slack outage this morning?
I haven't used Slack ever.
I use it for some personal projects, but I don't use it for work. So
isn't it gone?
No, it's big as ever. Salesforce bought it.
I was gonna say, didn't somebody buy them?
Oh, yeah. Because we were talking about that, because there's 2 businesses that we deal with. One is like, you know, the G Suite Slack shops, and then there's the Microsoft 365 and Teams shops.
Right.
You know, I think Slack's like Cisco tried with Spark, I think, when I was at Cisco. And that was hot garbage.
Why aren't the G Suite people using Google's own solution instead of Slack?
Which is what's theirs?
Isn't Meet Google Meet?
MEAT?
Yeah, but everybody still assumes that's all for like that's the Zoom alternative.
Yeah, I
that
think
it's just video.
Well, yeah, because Meet should be more or less a WebEx thing, like with those kind of features. And I think they
I thought they had Slack chat feature stuff too.
Oh, it does, but like I said, the common assumption is that it's, you know, it's like I said, it's a video platform.
I'm still waiting for the domain meet up to become available, and then we'll get together at charcuterie places and butcher shops and barbecue joints.
What can possibly go wrong?
Nothing. I'll eat good, fat and happy.
All right, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Quick and dirty. This is going to wrap things up for episode 381 of the IT and the D Show. On behalf of Bob, Dave, and Randy, Happy New Year. All the best in 2021. And do us a favor, drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.
See you guys.